Pale Paul, they called him, even in his youth, not for the pallor of illness, but the fair hair and skin of his lineage, the dynasty of Elmshade, rulers of a valley kingdom for generations. Paul, next in line, bore the weight of legacy with grace. He was loved by his people, a prince of both noble blood and noble spirit. His days were spent in study, training and dispensing justice with an even hand. He rode with knights, debated scholars, and danced with the daughters of merchants and lords alike. His laughter was a familiar sound in the high halls of his father's castle. But destiny, like a thief in the night, often takes more than it gives. Word arrived on the winds, carried by refugees fleeing south. An army, vast and brutal, had emerged from the bordering plains. They were known as the Crimson Hand, leaving a trail of shattered kingdoms in their wake. Paul's father, King Eldred, a warrior in his own right, rallied their forces. Despite the love for his people, Paul felt a tremor of fear. He'd read of such horrors in ancient texts, but believed them relegated to the past. Now the past had come to claim his present. The Crimson Hand struck with the fury of a storm breaking against a rocky shore. Their numbers seemed endless, their thirst for blood unquenchable. Paul fought with the heart of a lion, his silver blades singing a song of defiance. Each fallen foe, however, seemed to be replaced by two more. The valley ran red, the scent of blood heavy in the air. King Eldred fell, a spear piercing his broad chest, and with him the last vestiges of hope seemed to vanish. Paul, surrounded, fought with the desperation of a man who had already lost everything. He slew scores, his armor now splashed with crimson, his face a mask of grim determination. But even the bravest heart has its limits. A monstrous figure, his face hidden beneath a horned helm, emerged from the fray. He swung his axe, cleaving through Paul's defenses as if they were mere twigs. Darkness claimed the young prince as his lifeblood spilled onto the ravaged earth. A death, it is said, is a release. For Paul it was but a prison of a different sort. His soul, instead of finding peace, found only the echoing hollowness of his failure. He saw his kingdom burning, his people slaughtered, the legacy of his ancestors trampled underfoot. The injustice of it clawed at him, fueling a rage that burned hotter than any earthly fire. The earth, soaked in the blood of his people, offered him no solace, no embrace. Then a change. Not a gentle transition, but a wrenching, tearing transformation. His flesh, once vibrant, turned cold and clammy. His blood spilled upon the ground, flowed back into his veins, thick and black as sin. The warmth of life gave way to the chilling embrace of something else, something monstrous. His eyes snapped open, no longer the blue of summer skies, but twin orbs of glacial fury. He was reborn in death, a creature fueled by vengeance, a king returned as a monster. Pale Paul walked the land, his footsteps silent, his presence heralded by a bone-chilling cold. The once handsome face was now a mask of decay, the flesh tight across his skull, a chilling parody of his former nobility. But it was his eyes that truly marked him. They burned with a cold, merciless light, devoid of any emotion save for an all-consuming hatred for the wicked. He became a nightmare whispered around dying campfires, a creature of the night who hunted the wicked. Those who had participated in the slaughter, those who reveled in cruelty and injustice, they became his prey. He moved like a wraith, his touch a promise of icy death. No blade could harm him, no shield could deflect his wrath. He was a force of nature as pitiless and unstoppable as a winter storm. His legend spread a chilling tale of vengeance from beyond the grave. For Pale Paul there would be no rest, no peace until the last of the Crimson Hand met a fate far worse than death. His was a tragedy etched in blood and shadow. A chilling reminder that even in death, the thirst for justice can burn eternal.